And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 as the Great Qing in patch 1.9.5, where we're trying to maximize our GDP. We're beginning the transition over to rubberized, adding rubber to our tools, and we may attempt to add some rubber to our fancy clothes. Assuming we have enough rubber. We'll see if that works out. Okay, so the domestic supply of rubber is about tapped out. And, well, we're probably importing half the known supply of rubber worldwide. That wouldn't surprise me either. So we might not be able to put it in the fancy clothes right away. Okay, so that's the rest of the tools, we'll say. Tools are down, rubber is up. Sure, the rubber is even back down again, which is good to see. So we could support a bunch of rubber. We can, in theory, support that level of rubber, so we'll do that. We'll subsidize the clothing while we're doing it. Rubber's back up. We'll see if rubber comes back down again. GDP's been a little bit up and down and up and down and up and down. Due to the massive amounts of imports, exports going on. There's aniline spread to us, which isn't super great. At this point, it has to spread steel railway cars, so it's helping us. So we'll do steel railway cars, telephones. I suppose telephones are also more rubber. Yes, rubber industrialization has begun. Ooh, more rubber. Domestic supply. Cambodia. 4 more in Cambodia. Put this on top. There's steel railway cars. And yeah, radios next. We're going to do radios into central planning. Yeah. Central planning, we're going to have to take advantage of the fact that we do have some end-of-time penalty reduction, but that should work. We can, to some degree, start pre-building the radios as well. Get a bunch of legitimacy. We're going to use that to pay down the debt a bit. Oh, yeah, rubber, we're really desperate for rubber. But because of that, we probably are slowly taking over the clothing market. The fancy clothing market. We're not actually exporting very much, apparently. Interesting. Importing a lot. Importing clothes. I'm surprised we're not exporting a lot. Where's that? It's not very good at telling us. There we go. Like, oh, I should be exporting quite a bit. Like, yes. Clothing, porcelain. Exporting the luxuries. The world is buying Chinese luxuries. Sure, we'll get a little bit of an opinion boost. Some more factions. What will you sell me? Some military assistance. Will you take on my debt? No. Well, that's fair, to be fair. Law commitment. Oh, you have to currently not be doing anything to do a law commitment. Okay. Can we get you to pay us a bunch of money? We can get you to pay us some money. Which is not what... So the other way around is, can I get you to buy some of my stuff? I don't think they're making rubber yet, otherwise we could get them to sell some rubber. Of course, they want to sell us tobacco, so we take some tobacco. So then we can turn around and say, hey, in exchange, sell us... Let us sell you... some porcelain. Or, no, luxury clothes. Looking to see if clothing was on the list here, of things I could get them to sell, because we're a little bit short on clothing. Okay, we'll do something like this. I don't want investment rights from them. No, we've already apparently got investment rights from them. Okay. In that proposal. Sorry, laborers working those plantations. Got old age patients. Okay. What is going to be the effects of doing labor rights? Who's opposed to this? The industrialists. They don't believe the industrialists. President has a 34% stall chance. Who's actually really opposed to it? The industrialists. A lot. Okay. So we're just taking the opportunity to let everyone calm down instead of pushing ahead with more extreme reforms by their standards. GDP's been a little stagnant recently, probably because I'm building things like railways that don't really help with the GDP. But rather preparing for things that will. That reminds me. Little by little. Okay, I suppose I'm not too desperate for that rubber right now. Yeah. Okay, so let's not have the rubber in the queue. We'll be wanting it at some point, but not yet. There we go. So we got 5 months of queue. Telephones actually won't complete in 5 months. June Nicole. Probably need ironclad and self-propelled before we can really start to do anything in military. Anything significant in the military, I suppose. Improve the officer ratio a little bit on the boats. In some ways, I want to be able to get those laws in effect real quick. At the same time, I know we're gonna, as soon as we start applying telephones to everything, taxation efficiency is going to significantly improve, and we'll have a lot more bureaucracy, so I don't want to overinvest in government admin right now. Okay, so once we're done with this queue, we'll move on to working on telephones. And then with telephone done, we'll get identification documents into central planning. Gonna chance those telephone switchboards. Someone wants to trade with us. They give us a power block embassy, they import some of our military equipment. Okay. Honduras. Yeah, definitely feeling the radicals in some places. So the NX Persia, we'd have to fight them. May contemplate doing that sooner rather than later. You know, let's actually do it right now. We're now starting to work on those motor industries. That'll be a pretty good GDP generator. As weird as it seems, with them only being 40 motors, 40 engines, they are very strong. Suffrage, that's something we may do near the end, we'll see. We gotta get the unemployment under control before that's really worth doing. It's just us versus them, yes, yes. We have a new mandate. I don't think we're going to change anything up, so we can probably just ignore when new mandates pop up. Casimir Earthquake. We'll put money towards that. Probably, maybe not meta to do that, but we will. There's telephones. Which also gives another declared interest. Government admin. Look by worst tax capacity. Not gonna go too ham on this one. We'll only do like 14. And then, oh, we're gonna need a lot of telephones. Let's check how many minimum we need. So the whole plan is to swap over to telephone switchboards, ideally everywhere. So estimated 8,000 telephones. So 10 is 600, so we need like 130. So places where we have the most unemployed, we'll do a 50, a 50, 30. And of course, those are going to be industries that, because of what we want them for, we're actually going to go ahead and subsidize them. There is a consumer demand for telephones, so they won't be completely unprofitable initially. But by subsidizing them, we'll push the demand, or push the supply higher, which will allow more demand for them, while we're waiting for the government to be ready for them. So we're kind of waiting for the offensive to get to the Persian capital, which is about here. Probably is worth bringing in more troops to make that faster. My biggest import really, actually... Oh no, biggest export apparently is supposed... Really? Or is it... I need to click that for it to show right... Oh, click that for it to show right. Okay, I forgot it's selected to a particular category. It pre-filters the category. Electrical capacitors... That is something we're going to want to do soon, is probably electrification. Importing iron, importing rubber. Iron we can probably fix, rubber we probably can't. We could fix the fruit, but we're not worried about it. Bunch of consumer demands, of course, we can fix. Probably have enough bureaucracy. Oh, not quite, because it's... Yeah, just not quite enough to grab health system. Not quite through the motor industries yet. You know, we're helping to bring that price down. Okay, we've occupied their capital. The war should basically be over at this point. Suppose? Yeah. Now I go through all the VMs. Okay, construction sectors, yes on steel, rails, steam engines, steel passenger cars, industrial ports. fertilizers, make citrus. Don't use any labor saving right now. Fertilizers, slaughter plants, wool gathering, dynamite, irrigation, 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 irrigation. Not necessarily surprised either that they swapped off of it while at war with us, or they just decided it wasn't worth it because of the high price of the engines, but more engine demand for us is a good thing building it. At some point we will want to electrify the textile makers. And the explosive plants, obviously. Though we're a net exporter of those right now, so... Of course, all these places need to be stated, so we start having taxes being applied and police deployed. This is a diplomatic play with nothing applied to it. I give in. Okay. Steel hulls for the warships. How many ships do I want to transform over to steel? Or do I want to hold off? Probably want to hold off at least until we get torpedo boats or something spread to us. Identification documents should give us more tax revenue. You want regulatory bodies. We'll try. And if that fails, we'll probably kick you out of government, to be fair. So I hope you know what you're asking for. Yeah, definitely going to be investing more in construction goods. So we got glass and steel coming up again. No, you can't have more autonomy. I know you're kind of grumpy that we annexed one of your friends. Identification documents. And central planning. It's going to take 3 years. But at the end of that 3 years, oh, we will have all the government bureaucracy we can imagine. At this point, we should just about be in. Yeah, there we go. Starting to build the electrical industries. Subsidies, probably mostly trading. No, mostly railways. Okay. Well, once we complete electrification, we'll probably start putting on some labor-saving PMs. starting to work down the debt again. Nope. This is why you can't have your freedom. So it's not going to be a breakdown of where the extra cost is coming from, but basically we're getting extra costs because this and this and this are not completed research. They are spreading, so in the case of socialism, as soon as socialism's done, that'll actually lower the cost in central planning, speeding it up a little bit. We should soon have telephones, which we will be the one and only worldwide supplier of. So I can imagine those being quite pricey. Between our trade centers exporting them and our pops consuming them, we in fact probably will need to build more telephones. You can see we as the government are not consuming any of this, and yet it's still being price stable at like 0. Oh, and we're the only producer of this. We will go ahead and drop the tariffs to 0 on this. Let people buy it for the moment. There's socialism complete. What are you spreading next? Philosophical pragmatism. Okay. Socialism also, in theory, will help the trade unions, so we'll probably have the trade unions stop being marginalized again soon. Requesting exemption from the mining regulations. One small exemption won't hurt. Or no exceptions. We're going to do no exceptions, just because the scholar officials weren't happy enough to be giving us any bonuses, and taking the -2 is not going to give us any negatives. So as I am not really subsidizing the electrical that much. Surprised our profitability dropped so much. It might be... yes. Instead of building, they're privatizing stuff. That's what's going on. Mainly, they're privatizing all the electrical industries we're making. A storm approaches. The specter haunting the world, which is immediately ticking down because we have policing of home affairs and not a lot of communists, apparently. $600 million and rising. We haven't even started electrification, which, okay, isn't going to be directly such a good source of GDP, but a lot of the things being electrified will be good. That's what we're going to do after central planning. is probably tech electrical railways. We'll probably start electrifying before we get electrical railways. We'll probably start electrifying as we're getting electrical railways, honestly. But we got lots of techs that would benefit from. Got sewing. We got the brine electrolysis. Electric railways is also nice because of electric engines. Less so than the electric trains themselves, but the electric engines are nice. We'll get the lights on, get the sawmills going. All the good stuff. Japanese obligation. I'm not sure what I'd get for a Japanese obligation. They're giving us investment rights already. We'll just absolve them of their obligation. Yep, still stable around 0. Built 130 telephones, and okay, to be fair, like half of them are currently getting exported. So when we do the swap over to needing them for the government, we'll have... Well, we won't have plenty because the local people are going to be consuming them as well. We'll definitely be in a bit better place to just do more expansion from there. As the stuff being exported will come back. What am I thinking about building? I'm thinking about dealing with stuff that's high-priced. So glass and steel. $120 glass makers. Sorted by unemployment. We'll do 20 in the top 6 here. And then Southern One, we apparently just needs railroads. So it needs 2 railroads for the glass bases we set up for it. And it needs another 4 for just the infrastructure. Starting to see that debt come down. Might start contemplating expanding construction again. Which will be good because the private construction is starting to reach the point where we need to get more construction. Yeah, just allow them to voice their concern. We're improving your standards of living, just maybe not as quickly as you want. Months on central planning. I think we'll get 1 more cost saving on central planning. Probably from physical pragmatism coming down, getting completed. Great train smash. Yeah, what's the worst that's gonna happen? The guy's gonna die in the crash? Get legitimacy, or... do either the authoritarian get kicked out, get 5 legitimacy, or gain a bunch of loyalists. We'll have the leader kicked out. Oh, well, that wasn't great. He got replaced with another nationalist. Don't really want that. Yeah. Loyalty. Illegitimate government. I wonder why. And too similar to the leader. Okay. Well, we can drop taxes in the meantime. It's not really the solution I want to be doing, but... Okay, we can stable the government when we're done with this law pass by kicking the Confucian scholars out of the government. Because for some reason, the Confucian scholars don't jive well with the ethno-nationalists in charge of the scholar officials for some reason. Yeah. So whether regulatory bodies passes or fails, we'll find out in a bit. We do want a little bit more government admin. Stopgap, so we're not negative for the moment. And yes, because we're China, a little bit is like 6. For other nations, it might be like 1. Us, it's like 6. We're a big nation. 600,000 people, growing at 1.4%, with 2.4 million unemployed sitting around dragging the population growth down. Yeah. Yes, I do know that the regulatory bodies is if that passes is going to drag the bureaucracy down again. We'll live with it. Because if we're at that point, we'll do a rearrangement of the government and be able to raise taxes, and we can just accept being a low bureaucracy for a bit. On the side of... So yeah, see those guys are not happy because we told them no. Everyone else is staying stable below 75, so the rest won't ask. Well, at least until we annex another person, and then they might ask again. Okay, we're going to do another round on that government admin. It builds pretty quickly, so it's not that surprising. Can make it go faster if we support the industrialists, but we'll take the enactment success chance, so it's more likely to finish. Except that each cycle is a little bit slower, but we'd like it to finish more likely. Anyway, this one's no longer binding for some reason. We can't do military assistance anymore, so yeah, we'll just go into withdraw. Or actually, could I renegotiate the treaty so it doesn't have military assistance anymore? Yeah, we just renegotiate the treaty. That works. And now we're not in contravention of the treaty because we negotiated ourselves out of the bit that we were failing to supply. Cool. We're getting more government. To be fair, I think that might actually just literally be population growth at this point. I would not be surprised. Also, I think it only charges you proportionally on the government admin for institutions and places you're expanding to. Oh, that one hasn't hired up yet. Okay, we'll still go put 10 more here anyway. I think we'll be good once both of them build and hire up. And we're still kind of stalling until central planning gets here. Okay, we're through the telephones. What's the telephone market looking like? Underwater. Okay, so we actually successfully managed to saturate, vaguely speaking, the local pop consumption and international demand for telephones, which is good because we're going to need it locally when we go ahead and swap over to telephone switchboards, and we'd like to be able to pull some of that back from the world. As meme-worthy it is to be the world supplier to of telephones. We give you grain? Sure. El Salvador. Reminds me, Honduras. Not quite enough leverage there to get you in. Relations. Oh, and they're just willing to give us a power block and see. So sure. That was Honduras. We already had one, but maybe I didn't act on it quickly enough. Get one with you. Maybe get one with you. Maybe get one with you. There's philosophical pragmatism. Should lower the cost on central planning. Direct action. For the duration of the law, take a 10% manufacturing throughput for 20% more likelihood to pass the law. Sure. That's what you get for pissing off the unions. There's central planning. Electric railways. And yes, we're going to start swapping over those government buildings. To be fair, I should just have enough that I can do the whole thing, so we pre-built it. There we go. And of course we have all the government bureaucracy to do all the things. So you go to max, you go to max, you go to max. Government bureaucracy go burr. Of course, the price is coming back down as the exports to the world go down to compensate for the fact that the government administration wants all the telephones to itself. And yeah, we'll be able to raise taxes as soon as regulatory bodies either fails or passes, and it's actually very likely at this point to pass. go. Again, we have the government bureaucracy for it, so crank that to max. And let's reorganize the government. You know, we'll do that government. And taxes. Test government. I think we can go all the way up to high taxes. Start to pay down the debt. Maybe build up the construction sector. Yeah, build up the construction sector. Go for 25 of those. Okay, so we have enough activism from the movements that is finally overwhelming the policing of home affairs, but don't think it's going to be fast enough in 5 months. So we're going to get the time runs out effect, the fire break effect. I apparently just need more construction. Underestimating the demand for construction in our economy. Okay. Oh, it also hasn't hired up quickly enough, because, you know, you build 25 things somewhere, it takes a little while for it to hire to full. Surprised the liberal movement's actually grumpy. Oh, you got a agitator. Vicious, wrathful, or not agitator. Yeah, you got an agitator. Okay. Modernizing agitator. That's making you grumpy. And the communists are grumpy because they're communist. Do you hear that too? 60% or 6,000 progress towards the radio. Which is something we may research. Radio would be pretty good for local consumption, pretty good for international consumption. Anyway, I think I'm going to pass on steel after glass here. Actually, before I go on to the steel, let's quickly... Railways... Places where we have bad infrastructure, like Jiangxi. Yeah, we got a few missing there. So that's 150... Okay. We can actually probably get away with one there, maybe. Alright, so we'll get that built. And then after that, it's going to be steel. Which we need a lot of steel. 90. We want 90 steel mills. And we probably do want to put it where we already have it. And then after that, we'll start on electrification, I think. So the first stage of electrification will be from highest unemployment to lowest high employment. one power plant everywhere. They did nerf power plant, makes half the power it did before. But I think it employs, yeah, employs a fifth the people. So if your goal is empowering people, providing power, it arguably provides half the power for the same amount of construction points. But obviously you can do it where you've got less people, so it's less people consuming. To provide the same amount of power as it was before. It was 50 in the last patch. Okay, so we'll wait until that works through. Needless to say, for power, we will subsidize. Oh, I have access to coal fire. We will actually... Oh. Ah, that's a new change. So in the last patch, early power was like renewable power. It isn't anymore. So yes, we will have to consume coal to make it work. If we're consuming coal to make it work, then we might as well go all the way up to coal fire. I think I probably want to reduce taxes. Sort of evaluating the taxes here. So 303k. Okay. We lost about 3k, dropping at 300, but that'll be fine. See how a lot of that kicks in. Got a lot queued up, so it's going to be a very long queue. Health system kicking in, social security kicking in. Fire break. Loyalist, legitimacy, or... Yeah, we'll go that one. Okay, so we maxed out healthcare. Better get the next workplace safety. Social security here also reduces the workforce ratio. We'll reduce the number of unemployed, even as we're paying more and more to get them to feed themselves. Oh, and I might need to build more government bureaucracy, actually, to afford all our institutions. See that in... Okay, so no place is close enough yet. Oh, it also doesn't help that some of them are just another power blocks. Yeah, that would get in the way. Oops. Okay, how goes the local subjects we already got? Looks like they're all starting to calm down due to the recent annexation going away. Yeah. Probably Dynam is the one we want to take next. It's not down below 25 yet, so we'll wait. Okay, the railways I added because we were low on logistics, except for Coruscant here, is done. We got the last spare mandate. So in theory, we could go ahead and just swap one of these. Like we didn't want to benefit from colonial affairs, we could swap that one out. Looking at the time, I should go ahead and put a part break in here. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and put a short part break in here. There'll be a part up for you tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a quick stretch, and then we'll get right back to playing. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.